Alright, so today here at Alstex Transmission we are going to demonstrate the procedures in pulling the cab on an F250 or F350 Super Duties, which they're all the same, to be able to have access to get to the heads and do the work we need to do comfortably. Okay, so some of these are the procedures in order to pull the cab. First, you want to take off the wiring harness. Then we disconnect all the electronics, the turbo intercooler pipes. We take out the batteries, evacuate the air conditioning system. That's going to allow us for the cab to disassemble from the chassis and engine assembly, including the radiator, fan shroud. Once all that's off, you check for all your connections and hoses and lines to be disconnected in order to safely pull the cab upward away from the engine compartment and chassis. So here we're going to demonstrate how we're going to pull the cab up safely while one of the technicians checks for any connections that may have been left behind, and the other technician races the cab. We're going to be looking around to make sure that everything's going up safely. Go ahead and pull it up, Valentin. Okay, keep going, Valentin. We had the parking brake cable get sideways a little bit, so we had to go back in there and remove it. They came through fine. So everything looks good, like it's pretty clear. Make sure you're going to have enough room to do all your work here. Took advantage of the wooden blocks to raise it up from the running boards. If it doesn't have running boards, we would usually put some kind of a block on the actual cab itself. So in this scenario here, we're now going to have a lot more room to work on the cylinder heads and be working a lot more comfortable. We're going to remove the turbo first, the intake manifold, then the valve covers, and then we'll proceed to removing the heads. And we'll have enough room to be able to put in the redesigned cylinder block studs that are going to go on at the end once we start reassembling everything back together. So once we remove the upper intake manifold, turbo, and accessories, then we move on to removing the injectors, as you can see, and now we're going to start removing the head bolts by sequence. And here's where we put all our tools and parts so we don't lose anything. And this is the final disassembly with the cylinder heads removed, where we can further inspect for warpage and cylinder head gasket failure.